So hip sockets, feet under the hip sockets. And then holding the leg bones, just like a hand holding a glass, a gentle taking hold. Allowing the tailbone to lower down, energizing through the core muscles. Becoming tall, using the abdominal walls to gently draw in and up, creating a lift at the diaphragm, at the low ribs, and then extending up along the back, reaching up at the base of the skull. And then once again, check the hips, the back of the waist, feeling of it being vertical rather than pushed forward or pushed back. And then at the collarbones, on the shoulders, imagining you're wearing a cloak and gently widening the collarbones. Becoming aware of the breath entering the body, moving through the nostrils, nasal passages on the roof of the mouth, in the throat. And experiencing the flow of the air in that area of the body. And at the roof of the mouth, having a gentle lifting up. As we're breathing, allowing the ribs to rise, expand. As we inhale, also allowing just below the diaphragm, these muscles to descend slightly. Diaphragm is drawn down. And then being aware of the weight through the feet. Keeping the weight neutral. Not just weight on the heels. Allowing the knees to adjust. They don't have to be rigidly straight. You may want a slight bend. Helping to place the weight on the feet, helping to place the hips. Experiencing the placement of the hips, where they are in relationship to the front to back of the feet. Where they feel to be from the inside. And now let's change the position. So swing the heels outward, and then the feet come parallel again, and then allow the knees to bend. And we're going to have the hands at the top of the thighs, and then we'll bend the knees a bit more and have the hands slide lower, pressing gently with the fingers, still dropping the tailbone, not leaning forward, not sending the knees out past the toes. Now, to go lower, we'll swing out the heels, take out the feet. And now try taking just the feet out. You want to feel what's happening at the back of the waist. Again, the back of the waist doesn't move forward, doesn't push back. And then just coming a bit lower, keeping the knees from going beyond the toes. Have a feeling of the hips moving back and lowering. Allowing the hands off of the legs. They can be on the legs, they can also come out forward. And if the hands go forward, create that feeling as if you're holding onto a barrel. We can soften that but position that width across the shoulder blades. Don't tip the head forward, but let the eyes rest down. And when we're ready, coming up. And when we come up, we'll release the arms. We also want to be aware again of the placement of our hips. And then we're going to close the distance between the feet. And now, just floating up one leg, the other. So just allowing the hip to move naturally with the rise and fall of the leg. Knowing where our tailbone is, knowing where our sacrum is, the vertebra just above the tailbone, knowing where the back of the waist is. And we're going to allow the leg to go a little wider out to the side. Still dropping right through the center, that inner core center line that we can visualize, and a feeling of dropping down. And a feeling of reaching up, dropping down. Now we'll bring the right leg up, we'll hold there, and we'll just circle the ankle freely. As we do this, know where the tailbone is. Now turning the foot, feeling both feet for a moment, and then changing sides. And returning the foot, experiencing both feet. And then let's bring the right up. So knee basically at hip height, and the foot's gonna act like a pendulum. Returning, balancing both feet, changing sides. And returning. Again, knowing where the hips are. And then let's bring that right up, open it out, and just see if you can touch the foot on the standing leg. Returning. Turning, pausing, and we're going to take our feet wider apart again. I want to think of the ankles, the heels, basically shoulders, maybe a touch wider. Swing the heels outward, bend the knees, sink the hips, drop the tailbone, Gently open the knees a little bit. Find this place through the center. We'll have the hands on the hips. And we're going to go side to side. So hips don't move. Upper body moves. So we're taking the movement from the upper body. We'll feel the effect in the hips. Coming back in neutral. Release the arms, float them straight out in front, rotate the arms. Spread the fingers, push out through the palms. Reach up along the neck. Allow the hips to sink. And now the right hand, rotate the fingers up and inward, and as they turn inward, push that elbow back, and the straight arm presses forward. Rotating to the other side. The face and the hips stay forward. And now next time an arm goes straight, take it up. And then take the next straight arm down. And then next time we'll go in front, straight out from the shoulders. And then bring both arms forward. And then check the legs, the knees, the weight in the feet, the drop in the hips. And then bring the arms up alongside the ears. Push up through the hands. Keep the ears between the arms, but let the gaze drop down. And push up, move the shoulder blades up. And then widen the arms, 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock, pushing outward. And then bend the elbows, touch the fingers to the shoulders. And now bring that left elbow forward, the right elbow back, keeping the face faced forward, the hips forward. So returning shoulders, returning ribs. And then when that right elbow comes forward, just return to neutral and take the elbows in a circle around the shoulders, using both directions. And then slowing down, lengthen out the arms and just release them down. Now let's straighten our legs. And just taking the feet wider apart again. Let's turn out the right leg, bend the knee, and put both hands on the thigh. And when we're going to come up, pull up from the core. And then rotate out the left, slide the hands down the thigh. We're leaning out. And then pulling up from the core. so after left side, we'll just pause in center for a moment. And then we'll go back to the right, but we'll go down differently. So hands at the tops of the legs. Turn out the right leg. Just slide the right hand down the leg. Coming up, slide the hand down the left. So we don't want to lean as far. A feeling of this straight line on the top side. And rather than turn toward the bent leg, we're keeping our torso face to the side. And then staying up after a left. And now turning out to the right and not leaning at all, letting the torso stay upright. If we need to adjust the distance between the legs, it's the straight leg that goes in or out. The bent knee doesn't move, the bent foot. Coming up, find neutral, drop the tailbone, rotate out that left leg, stay vertical. As we go side to side, give the legs, the feet, a chance to find the position. As we go down and up, use the core, the big thigh muscles, the glutes, the abdomen to draw back up. And we'll do it once more for each side. So after left, staying tall, just adjust the distance between the feet so the joints have a different placement. And now we're going to go low again when we go to the right. So when we're ready, turning out the right leg, bending the knee, slide the right hand down, and then slide the hand down the shin. And again, if the distance needs to change, it's the back leg, the straight leg that adjusts. Now this top arm, start on the sacrum, the back of the waist, and just feel that they're flat. And then we're going to take it up by the top ear. So we can come low and bring it up. We can go up and over. Just look after that top shoulder. And when we're ready to leave, put the top hand on the hip, push on the front foot, pull up with the hip. Come neutral. We'll turn out the left. Have the hand slide down the leg all the way down. Adjusting the straight leg, the back leg. The tailbone's got a little tuck here. You can use that upper hand to find the sacrum, find the tailbone. Lengthen the spine. And we're going to take that upper arm by the ear. If that's not comfortable for our shoulder, any comfortable place. And when we're ready to leave, upper arm back on the hip, pull up through the core. And we can do a couple more of those. We'll save a couple more for later. We're going to move on to a variation where we create a rotation in that deep bend. So we'll start with our legs straight. We'll bring the arms up, 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. Going to turn out the right leg, bend the knee, and now this left arm is going to come up. The right arm drops. Left arm reaches out, Right arm points back. Left hand comes down onto the ground. Right arm comes up and over, reaching outward. And when we're ready to leave, that upper arm goes upward again, drops down by the hip. We lift up, the lower arm sweeps forward and up, and we windmill back to our starting place. And we just play along with this as the body slowly finds the movement. So arms windmilling all the way up and over. And then the upper arm leads, the lower arm follows. We windmill back up. And then just working on to flowing smoothly side to side. We can change our tempo a bit. Next time you're ready to come up, keep the leg where it is and just windmill the arms and the upper body when we come into side warrior. And then from there we can straighten the leg, rotating to the other side. Side warrior, lift. And repeat. And we'll do one more set. Just pausing once we're tall. Now we're gonna again do some variations where I'm gonna drop a knee to the ground. So I don't have a yoga mat today, I'm gonna use a pad. So when I'm ready, I'm gonna turn to the right. I'm gonna lift the back heel. And then just take that knee down. So for the moment, what are we going to look for? The back hip above the back knee, tailbone dropped, the front ankle below the front knee. And I just want to first time find this inside, and I'm going to switch sides. So push on the front foot, lean forward a little bit, press up, come neutral, and then we'll go for the other leg. Going to the other side, lift the back heel, drop the knee. So we've got the hip above the knee. And then we'll just lean forward a bit, push up on the front leg, come neutral. Check the tailbone. Let's switch sides. So when the back knee feels stable, I'm going to put this back hand, goes with the back leg, flat on the mat. And then the front arm, poke the elbow up. Point the fingers down at the mat, poke up at the elbow, and then reach up the arm. And then bend the elbow, bring the hand down, take it underneath that armpit, reach out, and look down, let the back round. We're looking down toward that hand. Back up again. Send the elbow up, extend the arm, bend the elbow, point back. again, elbow, arm, elbow, reach back. And there's our last one. Let's just bring that front hand onto the front leg. We'll press up, put both hands on the front thigh. We'll bring ourselves up to neutral. And then we'll go to the other leg. So we place the hips, we place our legs, then that back hand touches down below the shoulder. Front elbow pokes up, arm reaches. I'm going to sweep the arm down underneath the shoulder, pointing back, looking down and back. And then up again. And then down and back. And our last one, we point back, and then we're going to bring that front hand onto the front thigh, both hands on the thigh. I'm going to push back to neutral. And we're going to go back to the first side. And now we're going to see if we can come a bit lower. Rather than the hand straight down from the shoulder, we're going to bend the elbows so we can put the forearm on the mat. And it's not straight from the shoulder, it's got to go forward toward the center line. And then we've got to give the body a chance to come down. Now let's come back up, and let's just try that position on the other side. As we're ready, just exploring, we're going to come back up again. We're going back to our first side. Again, working on bringing the forearm down. And then let's reach up. And then just putting the hand back on the knee. Front hand reaching up, back on the knee. And then next time we touch the knee, lift up. We'll get both hands on the knee. Now don't rush to the other side. Pause here for a moment. Drop the tailbone, lengthen the back body. Add weight to the front foot, and then coming up, and now the other side. So hand goes down. I'm going to work on sinking down the elbow. Arm goes up, and then back to the knee. Okay, so what I've learned is you need a yoga mat for that position, or at least not a slippy floor. So you get the idea, explore carefully. It's intense work through the core all the way into the SI joint.